Now from San Jose with more on the inflation fears. Karina?
Well, Jessica, even the core rate of the producer price index, which excludes food and energy prices, shot up 1.3% in 1 month, and that is significant. If you are shopping for a house or a car or even gas, you notice when the price goes up.
Now it's so high price. I don't like that.
On a bigger scale, the government doesn't like it when wholesale prices go up because that's a sign of inflation. And here's the latest evidence from the Labor Department. Wholesale gas prices up nearly 18%. The price of light trucks and SUVs up nearly 14%. And the cost of home heating oil up almost 8%. Michael Solt is Associate Dean of the Lucas Graduate School of Business at San Jose State University.
Inflation means there's too many dollars chasing too few goods, so they're afraid that the economy might be overheating.
The way to cool the economy is reduce the money supply and raise interest rates. That would be especially hard on California's already slowed housing market. The real estate industry was actually hoping for an interest rate reduction next year, and mortgage expert Bill Alden cringes at even the hint of a hike.
They're not going to continue to increase them because all it's going to do is, if they do create a halt in the economy, boy, then they could be headed for that R word, and nobody wants to see that happen.
The R word, of course, is recession. And with today's labor report, Federal Reserve Chairman Ben Bernanke will be more worried about inflation. Many Fed watchers, though, say one report does not make a trend.
With this inflation increase, there's a danger they might raise rates, but I think they'll be cautious. I think they'll want to see a few more months of data before they take any action.
And there were some insightful comments today from a member of the Federal Open Market Committee. Richard Fisher spoke in Texas. He said the risk of unacceptably high inflation still outweighs the risk of substandard economic growth. That is a quote from him. Fisher also said recent reports show mixed signals about the economy, and the Federal Reserve meets again late in January. Reporting live in San Jose, Karina Rusk, ABC 7 News.
Thank you, Karina. Recently, we decided to use our ABC 7 Listens polling system to find out more about the holiday shopping season and the mood in this shopping season. What we learned isn't very good news for brick and mortar retailers. ABC 7's Willie Monroe says the trend is definitely to other shopping options.
Less than a week before Christmas, and there's still plenty of room for shoppers at Hillsdale Mall. The ABC 7 Listens poll asked how much people plan to spend this holiday season. Nearly half said they'd spend about the same as last year, but 36% said they plan to spend less.
I've cut back because I feel some uncertainty in the economy, and as I've grown older, I also believe that it's not great to get caught up and spend a whole lot of money behind one day. All I'm doing is fattening the pockets of people who own those big retailers and not making a real specific statement to my family about what the day's really about.
The poll seems to confirm that retail destinations like this one are facing a huge challenge from online shopping. While 42% of those responding said they planned to shop at stores, 21% said they would shop mostly online. Eugene Muscat, Senior Associate Dean of the University of San Francisco School of Business, says that number will rise.
It's difficult to not be pessimistic. I think every year when you come back, as I do, you see the same anchor tenants occupying less space. They are simply shrinking back and making up dollar-wise by their online options.
Linda Robertson is in that 26% who said they'd split their shopping about half and half between retail stores and online.
There are always opportunities to find lots of new things online, not to mention the convenience. I don't need to find a place to park. I don't need to hop on the freeway. I mean, I like it.
As for that tradition of baking cookies or other food or making crafts as presents, that seems to be dying. Only 7% said that's what they'd do, compared to 66% who said they'd be shopping. Willie Monroe, ABC 7 News.
One group of shoppers has declared a boycott on certain stores because they've been using the phrase Happy Holidays instead of Merry Christmas. The Committee to Save Merry Christmas started 4 years ago when its founder noticed employees at Macy's stopped saying Merry Christmas. Now organizers have focused on the Gap, Old Navy, Victoria's Secret, The Limited, Saks Fifth Avenue, and others.
Here they entice us to come into their stores with their advertising, their broadsides, their newspapers, their television ads, directing us to come and buy their merchandise to exchange presents for the Christmas celebration, yet they don't even have the courtesy to say Merry Christmas in the stores.
Macy's revised its policy. The Committee to Save Merry Christmas is encouraging shoppers to buy gifts at places like Target, Walmart, Rite Aid, and Sears, which use Merry Christmas in their advertising.
There's a new development tonight in the campaign against San Francisco's plan to redevelop parts of its poorest neighborhoods, the Bayview. Opponents have filed a lawsuit against the city for not allowing them to put that issue to the voters. ABC 7's Carolyn Tyler has more on what's a thorny issue.
More than half of Bayview Hunters Point is slated for redevelopment, but some people worry residents and businesses will be displaced.
You can plainly see that all this is about pushing us out. We are in the way.
Earlier this year, critics launched a petition drive to put the redevelopment controversy on the ballot. They gathered more than enough signatures, but the city attorney invalidated the effort. So today, opponents announced a lawsuit.
If this happened and 33,000 white folks signed the signature on the petition, would they have been treated the way we've been treated in Hunters Point?
The city attorney's office says this has nothing to do with color and everything to do with the law. The petition included the text of the redevelopment ordinance passed by the Board of Supervisors, but a massive amount of information was missing. They did not attach copies of the plan itself, this 57-page document, which the city says under the law is a must.
California law is very clear, and California courts have been very consistent that it has to be attached, and failure to attach it, the omission of that, invalidates the referendum petition.
Angelo King is glad it was tossed out. He's executive director of a community committee that has worked for years with the city on the redevelopment plan.
It gives the community a wonderful opportunity to shape itself, and something that these other folks cannot guarantee, they can't put on the table, they're just complaining.
Not just complaining, suing in Superior Court.
Well, the lawsuit will seek to keep the city and county from disenfranchising the voters here.
And they hope it'll block the project while the case proceeds. In San Francisco, Carolyn Tyler, ABC 7 News.
Police spent the afternoon searching in an area off Highway 101 in Greenbrae, possibly in connection with a missing woman. But the link today between the search, which you could see here, and that case isn't clear at this hour. A Novato man has been arrested in a murder case as well, but police aren't saying if he's connected to the body or the missing woman. 39-year-old Gregorio Maximilian Mendez de Leon was arrested late yesterday on suspicion of murder. The missing woman is described only as 23 years old and 2 months pregnant. She'd been missing for 2 weeks. If we learn more details, we'll bring them to you immediately.
Officials in Gilroy will wait until a sewage holding tank is sanitized before they try to recover the bodies of 3 Japanese citizens. They died when their small plane plunged into the wastewater treatment plant on Southside Drive yesterday afternoon. The plane belonged to a flight school. It had taken off from San Jose's Reed-Hillview Airport. Authorities found a Japanese passport and other items belonging to the victims at the scene after plant workers drained the sewage pool where the plane crashed.
It looks like the plane probably went straight into the water because there is minimal damage to the railings that are around some of the septic tanks that are up there.
The flight school says an instructor and 2 student pilots were on board. Investigators hope to interview several 911 callers who heard sounds of a plane in distress. The Mount Hood search is still going on, but with less and less a sense of hope. The 2 hikers still missing seem to have vanished into the snow-choked canyons and crevasses of deceptively serene Mount Hood. Here's the latest from ABC 7's Marty Johnson.
Family members of the climbers today had an agonizing look by air over the mountain ridge that may have claimed their loved ones. Helicopters are pulling out, and expert climbers are being kept off Mount Hood due to the threats of an avalanche. Indications that authorities have only the slimmest hopes of finding the 2 missing climbers alive.
They still have a chance to save themselves if they can by letting us know they're there.
Only a few search planes are flying over the Elliott Glacier area of the mountain. That's just below where the frozen body of their companion, Kelly James, was retrieved on Monday. Found in a snow cave, James had suffered a dislocated shoulder that may have doomed his climb. Discovered with him, a camera that documented the men's journey and their preparations.
After looking those, developing those pictures, looking what they had with them, I'm pretty concerned. about how long somebody can last out there.
In spite of those concerns, the families of the other 2 missing climbers, Brian Hall and Jerry Nico Cook, say they still have faith.
We also ask those many thousands of people around the world who have so graciously and passionately offered their prayers to Brian and Nico to continue to pray for them now more than ever.
But beyond hopes and prayers, there is little the family or searchers can do, with chances growing slimmer by the hour and bad weather set to move in again on Wednesday. In Hood River, Oregon, I'm Marty Johnson for ABC News.
There were new signs of activity today on another famous peak in the Northwest, Mount St. Helens, about 100 miles north of Mount Hood. Here you can see the plume of ash and smoke from a small eruption there today. No injuries or damage as far as we know. Mount St. Helens came last to life 2 years ago, and there have been minor eruptions like this occasionally ever since.
Still ahead tonight on ABC 7 News, who will be next to leave a lasting imprint on the world-famous San Francisco skyline? There is a major new addition in the works.
Spencer Christian here at the AccuWeather Forecast Center. First, the deep freeze. Now the rain is on its way. I'll show you when we can expect it to arrive in my AccuWeather 7-day forecast.
And a little later tonight, community-based policing, how it's proven to be an effective tool for fighting neighborhood crime.
And ships that appeared out of nowhere and at an East Bay dock. Tonight we'll solve a nautical mystery.
And now a Christmas tale sure to give you pause. I want a dog for Christmas, Charlie Brown, with a doggone Santa Claus. With lots of family fun from the Peanuts gang, you know. So please don't stray too far or you'll miss the best in show. Tonight, 8/7 Central, only on ABC.
It's Mervyn's Madness. This Tuesday and Wednesday only, wrap up your holiday gift list and save 50 to 60%. Get 50 to 60% off all sweaters for the family. 50 to 60% off fleece for the family. 50 to 60% off all sleepwear, loungewear, and robes for the family. 50 to 60% off all South Pole clothing. And 65 to 70% off all fine jewelry. Still can't decide? Give a Mervyn's gift card, the gift that always fits. Mervyn's Madness. Save 50 to 60% this Tuesday and Wednesday only, 7 a.m. to midnight.
Bevmo is usually the first stop we make when we're getting supplies for a party.
It's so convenient and easy to find everything you need. Some crackers, some cheeses.
Tremendously good selection of wine.
The bar accessories, the tchotchkes.
Sparkling wines.
Beer and ice and all the other little things that we need for a party.
Bevmo makes it very easy.
If I can't find it here, I can't find it anywhere.
I'm Mark.
I'm Brian.
I'm Ellen, and I shop at Bevmo.
The best holiday parties start at Bevmo. Go to bevmo.com for store locations.
Introducing the all-new Mitsubishi Outlander. Out everything. Everything.
I was walking down the street. I saw a poster.
Closed captioning is brought to you in part by Sleep Train Mattress Centers. Your ticket to a better night's sleep.
Very soon, San Francisco will decide on a design for a brand new 850-foot skyscraper. Architects from around the world are lining up with proposals for 10 Transbay Terminal project, the Transgate Terminal project with its new tallest building. Here's ABC 7's Deborah Villalone on the city's chance at remaking its skyline.
Name exciting structures in San Francisco. The Golden Gate Bridge, certainly. More recently, the Giants' new ballpark and the remodeled ferry building on the waterfront. But it's a short list because for years this city of great neighborhoods has been architecturally challenged. Boxy high-rises, not much flair, but designs bureaucrats could live with.
Knock 200 feet off the building. Make sure the building looks like something vaguely familiar to us. What we were left with was a bunch of buildings that were just kind of efficient containers of space.
Now a tower is coming that will rival the Transamerica Pyramid as San Francisco's most famous skyscraper. A tower rising 150 feet taller than the Transamerica, where the old Transbay Terminal now sits. The rundown bus station would be transformed into a 5-level Grand Central Station of the West. Architects are vying now to win the chance to design the station and the 80-story tower that will have a hotel, 3,000 condos, and offices.
Certainly the tower will change the skyline of San Francisco.
Those who've worked on the project for years envision the 3-block bus terminal torn down and a thriving new neighborhood in its place. South of Market is already alive with growth. The new tower will dwarf these and push the design envelope.
The skin of the station is completely wide open. We're looking for creative designs that will serve as landmarks, that will be world class, that will be something San Francisco and the Bay Area will be proud of.
You know, you're talking about a 3D extrapolation of the city, into the heavens.
For architecture fans, this building boom is long overdue, especially if done right. Towers will be slender and spaced to preserve the views and sunlight. The idea is to show San Francisco's as comfortable with the 21st century as it was with the 60s. Warning now to the iconic pyramid, you may have to move over for a taller tower in town. In San Francisco, Deborah Villone, ABC 7 News.
Chilly weather continues throughout the Bay Area tonight. A layer of ice had formed on vehicles in this car lot in Dublin when our cameras went by at around 4 a.m. And check out the field in Golden Gate Park. The grass and bleachers were covered in white, crunchy frost not long after the sun came up. Spencer joins us with more about this chilly forecast. You walked on the grass this morning. You could hear crunch under your feet.
Crunchy grass. Yeah, and winter hasn't even officially arrived yet. It arrives Thursday afternoon at 4:22, but it feels winter-like right now.
It does.
Well, it remains rather chilly. Here's a live view from our Sutro camera looking out over the skyline of San Francisco and out into the bay, and it's a mostly clear evening with a few clouds beginning to arrive right now. Current temperature readings on the cool side, 37 right now in Fairfield, and we have low 40s up north, 42 at Centerville, 40 in Napa, 44 over in Concord, 39 in Livermore, so it's quite chilly at this hour, and more chilly weather is on its way. Now this morning, we had another cold one, down to 21 degrees, the low at Napa County Airport, 24 Fairfield, 25 at Livermore, Santa Rosa, 26, and we had records. Moffett Field and Richmond tied the existing records for this date at 31 and 34 degrees respectively. Oakland set a new record low for this date at 34 degrees. So the cold snap continues, but tomorrow morning it will be not quite so cold as this morning. Notice readings will be a few degrees higher than they were this morning, and that pattern will continue as we have some high clouds arriving. Those clouds, of course, will lock in just enough of the daytime heating to keep temperatures from plummeting to the levels they were at this morning and yesterday morning. So the high clouds are moving in, and you can see evidence of that in the sky this evening. Looking westward from our East Bay camera, our time-lapse view shows the clouds adding some color to the sunset there. Well, sunset's always colorful, but it was even more colorful this evening. As those clouds move in, we can expect a wetter and milder pattern to settle into the Bay Area over the next couple of days. Starting the forecast animation at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, you can see that late tomorrow, rain will start to move into northwestern California and then down into the Bay Area, slowly into the North Bay by Thursday morning, overnight Wednesday and into Thursday morning. So we are going to get some wet weather on Thursday. It'll start to arrive in the northern part of our viewing area on Wednesday night. Over in the Sierra, this rain here is going to translate into a winter storm watch for Thursday with possibly up to 18 inches of snow in the Sierra. Snow levels will start down at about 4,500 feet and then lift up to about 6,000 as milder air moves in. No doubt you'll need change if you're headed out that way, so if you want more highway information, dial 1-800-427-ROAD, R-O-A-D. Back in the Bay Area tomorrow, we'll see some clouds in the sky and some sun as well. High temperatures in a rather narrow range, mainly right in the mid-50s, about 55 to 57 degrees in most locations. A little bit cooler farther inland, 53 at Fairfield, and up north, 53 at Clear Lake. Down around Monterey Bay, look for Bayside highs tomorrow in the upper 50s. And farther inland, not much change, up to maybe 60 at Hollister, and that's about as mild as it'll get. Here's the AccuWeather 7-day forecast. Winter solstice occurs on Thursday. Winter officially arrives at 4:22 in the afternoon, and it'll be a wet day for the arrival of winter. Mainly sunny on Friday. A little change on Saturday. We got a few clouds in, and then Saturday night into early Sunday morning, we may have some shower activity, but it looks like mostly sunny day on Sunday, which is Christmas Eve, and Monday, Christmas Day, starts out as a mainly dry day, but we could get some rain developing Monday night, Christmas night, and into Tuesday. So a changing pattern with a sort of a mixed picture right now. Some sun, some clouds, some periods of rain.
Something for everyone.
Exactly.
All right, Spence, thanks.
Well, there have been plenty of mysteries about ships that disappear, but in Port Costa, there's a twist on that theme. 2 ships turned up in the waters between Richmond and Concord in Contra Costa County. Ships that seem to have appeared out of thin air. Here's ABC 7's Wayne Friedman with the puzzle and some answers.
Everybody loves a good maritime mystery, and in Port Costa, they have had a doozy on their waterfront.
boat appeared out of nowhere.
Gene Pedrati, one of many locals who could not believe his eyes at the sight of two old hulks, one with a structure, the other just a hull.
This is today.
Right.
This is yesterday, 30 years ago.
Could it be something in the water beyond displacement? Jerry Lockhart showed us pictures today of another ferry that appeared some 3 decades ago. He calls this spooky.
Yes, and that's what I thought when I said, hey, 30 years ago I took that one, and now here it is again, you know, like it returned.
The boats are moored at an abandoned dock at a brickyard whose owners claim to know nothing. If anyone could guess the boat's identity, it might be Ted Miles at the San Francisco Maritime Museum. He looked at a photo today and poured through his archives.
I can't tell you definitively.
Late this afternoon, the Contra Costa County Sheriff's Office identified the hull as belonging to the ferry San Leandro and the white one as being the ferry Fresno. They are the residue of a sail gone awry and a tow operator who just left them here. The Fresno came to San Francisco Bay in 1927 and remained until 1940. Then she went up to Washington. In 1968, she returned here. People had hoped to restore her as a last vestige of the glory days of ferries on San Francisco Bay.
In total, there were about 200 of them. The peak of them was in the 1930s, just before the bridges were built.
Tonight, the ferry boats sit waiting for their owner to move them by the end of the week. They've gone from history to mystery and back, all in a day. In Port Costa, Wayne Friedman, ABC 7 News.
Well, 'twas the week before Christmas, and all through the town, firefighters were warning your house could burn down. Coming up next, an ABC 7 Christmas tree safety check without the poet.
I've had a very big blessing bestowed upon me.
Coming up, why Donald Trump has given Miss USA a second chance.
Oh, thank Miss Paula Shugart and Miss Universe.
When you're ready for news, ABC 7 News is ready for you. Get the same coverage you've come to expect in a brand new hour. ABC 7 News at 9 on your TV 20. An extra hour of ABC 7 News in a whole new place, your TV 20.
Save 30 to 60% on thousands of gifts. Only at Ross.
When does a car become more than just a car? When it's the all-new, fully redesigned 2007 Toyota Camry. With more horsepower, better fuel efficiency, and a stylish new design, this is one cutting-edge sedan. Check out the 2007 Camry at your Toyota dealer today.
Newlyweds Brad and Kate here are having the in-laws over for their first holiday dinner. I told them don't sweat it. Just go to Smart & Final. Not only can you get the turkey, the ham, the side dishes, I mean everything, and all at low warehouse prices.
Save on Farmer John's Spiral Cut Half Ham, just $1.99 a pound.
See, Smart & Final takes the pressure off of holiday entertaining.
Just how long am I going to have to wait for a grandchild?
Well, most of the pressure off.
Honey, get smart. Smart & Final, the smaller, faster warehouse store.
At 1-800-DENTIST, the dentists on our service typically don't like to do advertising. They'd rather concentrate on being great dentists, constantly training themselves on the latest techniques so they can offer the most comfort-conscious dentistry possible. They don't like to brag either, so we do it for them. So if procrastinating has been your MO when it comes to taking care of your teeth, talk to one of our friendly operators and find a dentist who'll give you and your teeth the attention they deserve. 1-800-DENTIST. We take every smile personally.
Remember when wishes came true? They still can. Introducing the BMW Holiday Wish Event, the best time of year to buy the new 328i sedan. Lease a BMW 328i for $329 a month and we'll make a contribution to the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Thousands of gifts for less than $10. Only at Ross.
The state attorney general today announced a settlement with Sony over the secret software they loaded on millions of music CDs. The idea was to prevent the music from being copied illegally, but it left thousands of computers vulnerable to hackers and damaged the computers of people who tried to uninstall it. Sony has agreed to pay up to $175 to anyone who suffered computer damage. Go to abc7news.com for a link to the refund form on Sony's website.
Well, it is a week before Christmas, a week when firefighters respond to more Christmas tree fires than any other time of the season. Tonight, with the help of the South San Francisco Fire Department, a holiday show and tell of sorts, one that shows you just how quickly your tree can go up in flames. We purchased 4 trees just 3 weeks ago. This tree wasn't put in water, and you can see how quickly it dried out.
So this one's really brittle, they come right off.
We treated this tree with fire retardant and left it in water.
With the fire retardant on there, it shouldn't be as readily able to burn.
We decided to put that theory to the test. With the help of the South San Francisco Fire Department, we put a blowtorch to all 4 trees to demonstrate how quickly they can burn. The fire department set fire to this treated tree. The result surprised even a veteran firefighter.
Even with the most protection, you can't fully protect against fire.
But compare that to a tree that was neither treated nor put in water. The treated tree is on the left, the untreated tree on the right. Flames erupted 2 to 3 times faster on the untreated tree than the treated tree. But the starkest comparison is in the end result. The plastic container on the untreated tree melted. The plastic container on the treated tree looks like new. Paper tag on that tree didn't even catch fire. We also set fire to a tree that was untreated but put in water. Keeping the tree moist can slow the fire, but it won't stop it. Our experiment also showed that flocking a tree actually adds more fuel to the fire.
That's why it burned so intensely. And the smoke was really thick and dark because it was burning the synthetic material on here.
The bottom line, keep your tree watered and treat it with retardant. And before you leave the room, blow out candles and turn off those Christmas tree lights.
What a way to ruin your holidays, is something like this.
I know, a lot of teas. Something else to remember, most trees are cut up to a month before they go on sale, so they're already drying out before you even buy one.
Yeah, that, by the way, that's something that slips by people. They don't realize that. New at 6:30 tonight, the White House seeks a solution to the crisis in Iraq, why the White House and the Pentagon are not necessarily seeing eye to eye.
The notion that there was some sort of feud between the president and the Joint Chiefs would be wrong.
Also coming up, an aspirin a day can't keep the heart doctor away, but too many can kill you. Tonight, a warning about over-the-counter pain relievers.
And senior dilemma, the prescription drug deadline you're facing if you're on Medicare.
What if no papers were ever uncovered? What if no whistle was ever blown? The truth is out there. We just need the people with the courage to find it. Troublemakers. Squeaky wheels. We are proud to join them. And while some may choose to look the other way, for us, there is no choice. Discover the stories that need to be told. ABC 7 News.
The secret is out. Superior Marble Center is where the pros have been shopping for years. Now you can enjoy our factory outlet prices. With the largest selection of marble, granite, and cabinets in the Bay Area, your source for dream kitchens and bathrooms is Superior Marble Center in Oakland.
Hurry to Kohl's 2-day Christmas countdown sale. Shop extended holiday hours this Tuesday and Wednesday, 7 a.m. to midnight. Save 50% on toys. Get a 7-inch portable DVD player kit for just $79.99. And take 60% off fine jewelry. This KitchenAid Ultra Power Plus stand mixer is only $219.99. And sweaters for the family are 50 to 60% off. Plus, save 50 to 60% on family outerwear and seasonal accessories. Hurry to Kohl's 2-day Christmas countdown sale this Tuesday and Wednesday. Kohl's, expect great things.
This is the best time of the year, and it's only at your Toyota dealer. It's Toyotathon, the perfect time to save on many of the Toyotas you've been wishing for. Right now, get 0% APR financing or $2,000 cash back on Highlander, or save up to $8,500 with 0% for 60 months on Sienna. And check out the huge Prius selection, and wait no more for the hybrid that people said they'd buy again and again. The Toyotathon year-end sales event. Hurry, time is running out.
Do things right the first time. For all the help you need from start to finish. Step 1, Osh.
UCLA versus Florida State in the Emerald Bowl at AT&T Park, December 27th at 5 p.m. Sure beats another after Christmas sale. For tickets, call 415-947-BOWL.
This is ABC 7 News at 6:30.
The president has a great deal of respect for the chain of command. So the idea that there is a decision in a squabble would be wrong.
Should we send in more troops in before we pull out? Tonight, the president ponders a possible solution to the war crisis in Iraq.
It appears the White House will include at least a temporary increase in troop strength in the new strategies promised for the new year. Curiously, a lack of troops has been a central criticism of the White House conduct of the war since the very beginning. Here's Andrea Canning.
With insurgent and sectarian attacks at record highs in Iraq, the White House acknowledged Tuesday that it's considering the option of increasing the number of U.S. troops in a big push to quell the violence, but denied reports that there are differences with the Joint Chiefs of Staff over the idea.
The notion that somehow there was some sort of feud between the president and the Joint Chiefs would be wrong.
Top U.S. military commanders have been skeptical about additional troops, but the top general in the Marine Corps said Monday the Joint Chiefs could support the idea if there is a solid military reason for doing so.
When people were talking about surges, the answer is if it fits into a military plan and you have a good plan for it, then maybe it would be appropriate.
But incoming House Armed Services Committee Chairman, Democratic Congressman Ike Skelton, says a surge may only make things worse.
I don't think it'll change a thing. It could actually exacerbate the situation even further, and I'm very concerned about additional burden on the Army and Marine Corps.
While the White House wouldn't give any specifics on a course of action for Iraq, President Bush did confirm to the Washington Post that he plans to expand the size of the U.S. military, a military he says is stretched too thin because of the conflicts in Iraq and Afghanistan. Andrea Canning, ABC News, Washington.
By the way, our new ABC 7 Listens poll shows the majority of people in the Bay Area support the conclusions of the Iraq Study Group. 57% told us they agree with the report's recommendations, 14% disagree. 29%, nearly a third, said they aren't sure or were unaware of the actual findings.
Bigger and bolder, that's what the FDA is calling for in strict new warning labels on common over-the-counter pain relievers. Tens of millions of Americans take aspirin, Tylenol, and Advil. Those and other drugs contain ibuprofen, acetaminophen, and other similar painkillers. While they are effective when used properly, too much can cause stomach bleeding, liver damage, even death in some cases. Manufacturers have already placed voluntary warnings, but consumers admit they don't really read them.
Do you look at all the warnings?
No, I don't.
Why not?
I've just been taking it for years, so I figured it's safe. It hasn't hurt me up to this point.
Any new FDA requirements won't take effect for at least another year. Well, nearly 2 million Californians signed up in the past year for prescription drug benefits under Medicare. What many don't know is that they have only 10 days left to decide if they want to keep or change the coverage for the next year. ABC 7's Money Scope reporter David Louie explains.
All these empty seats alarm Janet Van Duzen. She counsels seniors in Alameda County about health insurance. Only a handful showed up for this form on Medicare Part D.
I suspect that there will be certain people in for a surprise in January when they go to the pharmacy and realize that their drug is no longer covered, or it may have different, as I said before, out-of-pocket cost-sharing requirements.
Part D is Medicare's year-old prescription drug program. 2 million Californians signed up this past year. However, premiums and coverage of specific drugs can change annually. So seniors should be checking that their current plan meets their needs next year.
Their premiums may have increased. Some, I've noticed, may have increased by 200 to even 300%.
The details are available on Medicare's website or Medicare's toll-free phone line. A study by the Kaiser Family Foundation says up to a third of seniors either want to switch or are undecided. Counselors hope families gathering for the holidays will take time to help seniors evaluate their plan.
It may not be the highest priority for celebrating the holidays, but it is an important point that family members and friends need to get involved for people that are unable to do it on their own.
Once the deadline passes, most seniors will be locked into their coverage for another year. The December 31st deadline is about as welcome as tax day every April 15th. But for seniors on a limited income, doing nothing at all could have a dramatic impact on how much they pay for prescription drugs in 2007. In Alameda, David Louie, ABC 7 Money Scope.
Some Money Scope business headlines. Delta forges ahead with new bankruptcy strategies. Delta filed a reorganization plan today that estimates its value.